am a great believer in consistency. But just before I jump into what I have for us today, there's this song that I love that I would like to share with you all. Some of you may have heard it before, or maybe not. It's a song by Christy Lane. I'm not sure if anyone here is a fan, but I just would like to sing it. And I think it will be a good one to start with. Sure, let's go. I'm only human. I'm just a woman. Lord, help me believe in all I could do and all that I am. Show me the stairway that I have to climb. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Lord, give me the grace to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Now do you remember when you walked amongst men? Well, Jesus, you know, if you look below, it's worse than out and then. Oh, pushing and shoving, violence and crime. And so for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Lord, give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Literally, that song epitomizes all I would like to share with us today. We're human, and of course, everyone here is a woman apart from myself, so the song fits perfectly. And I love the lyrics of the song because it communicates the fact that whatever it is that you're called to do, that you're born to do, that is your purpose. Whether you call it your profession, or you call it your hobby, or you call it your passion, whatever name you give to it, it's something you have to do daily. And of course, you need the strength to do it one day at a time. And I agree with Crystal Lane, things are more tougher now these days. There's the pressure to be the mother, to be the wife, to be a professional, at the same time still fulfill purpose or live a life of consistency. Without a doubt, all of this can be tasking. And of course, strength is needed, grace is needed to still be that person that will show up every day and serve their generation. I do hope that song is a blessing to you. Amen. I'm going to stop playing the keyboard now. I just thought I would share that to start with. Okay, awesome. All right. If you want what's it called, a recording of that, you would have to ask Tom Brown. Okay, let's get right into it. Can you all see my screen, please? If you can see my screen, just let me know in the comments. Just say yes, please. Thank you. Just to be sure that my screen, you can see my screen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here. I want to sincerely honor Tambra. It's a great privilege. I do not take any opportunity to be a blessing for granted, and I count it a privilege. So thank you, Tambra, for bringing me to the More Collective, your community of amazing women, and I'm excited in my spirit. Within the time that we have to spend together, I'll be sharing on the power of consistency. This topic means a lot to me because I was lucky to be given a template of why consistency is so important when I started my journey. And I will share that journey with you before I get into my slides fully. Even though I plan to share it later, but I want to share it to start with so that you would understand my journey. I'm a coach of coaches, of speakers, of trainers and authors and thought leaders. So those are the people that I often, that my life often attract. And so I share this story with them a lot. In 2016, 3 years before that, I just finished my PhD at the age of 26. And to me, that was success. That was amazing. That was mind blowing to me, because all my life at that particular, I'll just stop sharing my slides so that we can focus a little bit. All my life at that particular point in time, my biggest dream was to be a professor. My highest dream, the vision of my highest self was to be a professor. And to be a young one at that. I mean, most of the professors we see are people who have gray hairs and all of those. So since the age of 14, that was my passion. So I was all about that. And I pursued my academics up to a PhD, very young. And the goal was that by the time I'm 35 or maximum 40, I'm a professor. But I realized as soon as I got the PhD, all of a sudden, I started to feel this void on my inside, this emptiness on my inside. I was asking questions, and the question was, how? I mean, there's got to be more to life than wanting to be a professor. I was just asking that question. There's got to be more. There's got to be more to life than wanting to be a professor. So, in the quest for that more, I found myself looking for what that more is or was. And I remember one day, pastor was preaching and he said, to whom much is given, much is expected. To whom much is given, much is expected. I can't clearly recall the title of what he was talking about, but these were the words that he was banging into my brain. How many of you have ever listened to a sermon or a preaching, and it's as if someone is just banging your head? They're not shouting, they're not screaming. No. That was the case for me. It was as if the only thing I was hearing was, to whom much is given, much is expected. To whom much is given, much is expected. I went back home and I started to meditate on that sentence, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I realized, indeed, I've been given so much. I'm a multi-talented individual, like you all have just experienced, a small version of the multi-talent. Inside my book, my latest book, Your Problem is That You're Multi-Talented, which I recommend for anyone here who is multi-talented to buy, because you may be struggling with the amount of talent that you have. I shared with you some of the talents that I have. I can dance, I write, I speak, I sing, I do a lot of things to the glory of God. I play football. You'll be shocked. I actually played semi-professional football at the time. So all of these things started to really bother me. And I remember this was 2016, December 2016 to be precise. I decided I was going to do something about it. Being a Christian, I decided I was going to pray about it. I was going to go to God and ask him, why have you given me all this gift? Why am I multi-talented? What am I supposed to use these gifts for? And I was grateful to God because it was on a retreat that I had, with myself, and God spoke to me. I don't know if I don't know the background of faith that most of us here are. So forgive me if it sounds weird to you that God spoke to me, but that's the only way I can express it or say it. God spoke to me and he said to me, he said, I gave you all these gifts for one reason. I said, for what? And he said, to help people discover their purpose so that they can maximize their potential. And I said that I share that story so you can understand where I'm coming from. This was December 2016. Okay. January 2017, I also heard in my spirit to start making videos every week. That was the videos, a series of videos that Tombra referred to the other time when she was introducing me. And she and to the glory of God, I started making those videos in January 2017, which was literally a month after getting clarity about what my purpose, why I was born was. And then I started to share these videos every week. And I had a coach then by the name of Grant Baldwin. Some of you may know him. He's a coach of speakers. He's amazing. And I remember one of the very first things he said to me, was that you've got to be consistent. Whatever it is that you are called to do, you've got to be consistent. And I want to leave that same message. I want to start with that to everyone here listening to me. Whatever it is that you're called to do, as long as you believe it's a calling, you have to be consistent. You cannot but be consistent. If you want to be effective in it, if you truly want to be effective in it, if you truly want to become influential, if you truly want to be successful in it, then you must, it's a must. The way God has built life, he has built everything that will be successful to go through the process of consistency. I call consistency process because there's so much to it than just the word itself. Right? You must go through, you must be consistent if you want to be known for anything. And this is very important. And that was me. I started becoming consistent with my videos. In fact, I was consistent in, listen to this, consistent in practicing my speaking, because I knew, and God spoke to me, he said, you're speaking, you're writing, two things that I'm going to use massively, to help people discover their purpose and maximize their potential. So I knew that those two core things, I had to be consistent in them. So I was writing every day and I was speaking every day. Then no one was listening to me because nobody knew me. So I was standing in front of the mirror and I was speak. I was standing in front of the mirror and I was speak. I was standing in front of the mirror literally every day. I remember starting from 5 minutes. I learned practicing in front of the mirror from another coach of mine called Brendan Butchard. So, some of you might know him. So if you're here, you don't have a coach, I want to recommend that you please get a coach that your heart really resonates with, someone you want to work with, someone who will push you to become the best that you can be. There is no way you'll be all that God has called you to be without someone literally holding you accountable. There is no way. And I'm glad for the More Collective for having an avenue like this where you're accountable. Someone is holding your hand. Someone is really, really passionate about wanting you to become all that God has created you to be more, to do more, and leave more. I saw that earlier on, which is very powerful. Great vision for a community like this. All right. But don't stop there. Have a coach one-on-one too. Someone you can literally go to when you have questions. Someone who will cheer you on when you're feeling down. Someone who would be able to speak inspiration and motivation to you when you're struggling. Very important. Anyway, I had that and I started practicing in front of the mirror. And I remember I went from 5 minutes to 10 minutes, from 15 minutes to 20 minutes. Before I knew it, guess what? After about 6 months, I realized I could speak for 1 hour just to myself in front of the mirror without any note. I started speaking with notes and then I went on to extemporaneous speaking and everything changed. And that was when I knew I was ready. I knew I was ready for the outside world. I knew something was coming. And I will share with you how I knew and all of those things later on as well too. But the key thing was consistency. That was the key thing. Listen to this. January 2018, it was as if the windows of heaven opened. And listen to this. I'm going to share something with you now that I want you to write down if you're not driving. I want you to write it down. Remember when the Bible said, that seest thou a man that is diligent in his work, he will stand before kings and will not make men. There is an unwritten word in that, seest thou a man that is diligent. Seest thou a man that is consistent in his work. You can literally, don't remove anything from the word of God, but put a parenthesis / bracket after that, before diligent, and put consistently diligent there, and you will understand what I'm about to share. There was a time I was reading my Bible, and literally God had to expose this to me and said, the reason why, diligent is there is actually, it means to be radically consistent in doing good. All right, to be radically consistent in doing good, to be intensively consistent in doing good. And he said to me, he said, the moment the heavens realize that someone is ready, someone is consistent, he said, heaven opens for that person. Literally, the heavens and the earth connive to cause a problem on earth that would demand your attention before a king. I don't know if you got that. I'm going to say that slowly. Whenever someone is consistently doing what they've been called to do, you consistently using their gift, consistently putting their passion to work, heaven and earth literally connive to cause a problem here on earth that only you will be asked to solve. But that will never happen if you're not consistent. That will never happen because heaven will judge you unready. And when heaven judges you unready, no king will call you. Let me say that again slowly. When heaven judges you unready or not ready, no king will call you. And that was my case. In 2018, January, remember 2016, got clarity of purpose. 2017, started making multi-vitality and also got on radio. I don't want to go into that because that would take a bit of time as well. As I started, practicing in front of the mirror, one day my pastor just called me and said, hey, can you speak on radio? I was like, sir, I can speak on radio. I've been speaking in front of the mirror to myself by myself. All this while, and he asked me to, and the church had paid for a whole year. The person that they actually paid to do it, who was supposed to be representing the church on radio, I got busy and the person was defaulting many times. But listen to me, I was ready. I was hungry. I was ready. I was hungry. I've been in front of the mirror. Nobody was listening to me. And all of a sudden they said, come and speak on radio every week. You see why heaven will only judge you. Heaven will only bring you before kings when you're judged ready. Because you had to, there's something you must have done in the secret place that will prepare you for what is to come. By the time the king calls you, it will have to be something you'll be doing consistently too. It will have to be something that will define your identity, your reputation. So if you have not been preparing in the first place, there's no reason for heaven to call you. The very same way you would have to take your CV to work to a place, where you've applied to work, and they'll be asking you all this question. In other words, have you been doing consistently what you're about to start doing here? Or did you just jam this situation? Did you just jam this and think you're going to be lucky? No, some of us want to be, we want to be lucky through life. Heaven has to judge you ready. Heaven has to judge you ready. In 2018 January, I got an email, man of God, we need you in Solomon Islands. Remember, I've been preaching on radio and in front of the mirror to myself by myself. Nobody was seeing me, but I was doing multi-vitality consistently every week. Consistently every week. Producing 5-minute videos once a week is not easy. If you have a full-time job, you're a parent, or your husband, and of course, like some of you are here. So for some of you who are doing podcasts every week, listen, heaven will soon judge you ready. I promise you, it's not going in vain. It's not in vain. This is a promise I'm making to you on behalf of heavens, because I've seen it in my life. There is no magic anywhere. Miracles only come to people who have actually literally engaged principles, because it's only principles that sustain miracles. If you get lucky and a miracle falls on your lap and you don't learn principles, that miracle, you will not be able to sustain it. Don't ever forget, it is only principles that sustain miracles. You can be lucky at once, but if you want a consistency of miracles in your life, you've got to learn principles. Magic doesn't happen in where God is concerned. Anyway, I got an email saying, man of God, we need you in Solomon Island. Listen to this. We need you for a 5-day-long conference. We need you to come and speak to our youth. I'm like, what? If I had not been preparing, if I've not been creating products, if I've not been speaking in front of the mirror, if I've not been speaking every week, there is no way I was going to do a 5-day conference, and prepare for 5. There's no way. I will panic. I will shiver. Some of you, the opportunities that God wants to bring your way, you're not ready. You've not been consistent enough. This is an introduction to let you know why you have to be consistent. It's so important that you have to be consistent, because some of us don't know why. This is why many of us, we struggle sometimes. We don't know why. And I got that email. Well, guess what? Within 1 week, it was as if there was no time to prepare. Within 1 week, my passport my visa had been given. I was already on the plane to fly, ready to fly. Within 1 week, thank God I had a flexible job. I'd gone to Solomon Islands to deliver a 5-day conference to about 200 kids, teenagers and youth. And I delivered. And to the degree of God, up to today, the pastor still talks about, I've done it twice more. The pastor talks about the impact of those sessions in the life of those kids. But heaven had to judge me ready. I came back, the moment I came back, like I told you, 2018, it was as if the windows of heaven just opened, because heaven judged me ready. Guess what? I came back, literally came back. The day I came back, or the day after, I got another message on Facebook. Someone said, man of God, I've been watching your videos consistently now for more than a year. I've been following you. I love what you do. Come and bring those messages to our church here in Sydney. I was like, what? Sydney, Australia, which I live in New Zealand. Australia is the country just beside us. Bring it to Sydney. And this man flew me business class. I'd never flown business class in my life before then. I was even apologizing. He said, man of God, we are so sorry. We wanted to fly you first class, but unfortunately, the flight, the airline ran out of first class. So we're just going to fly you business class. We hope that is okay. I said, yeah, I think so. I'm saying that to let you know you don't have to come from a rich home. You don't have to come from whatever. As long as you can be consistent, you can literally change the trajectory of your life. You can literally change. Many of us don't know. One of the major secrets that people don't talk about, in the words of John Maxwell, it's not often pretty to say you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent, but you have to be. Literally, if there's any key I can give to anyone who wants to literally impact their world, become someone of influence, have dominion in the words of the scripture, it is consistency. There's no other way to put it. You have to be. And I'm glad that, in the little time we have left, I have some things to share with you that would help you become consistent. That was how I went to Sydney. And guess what? I came back again. I went to Melbourne. I came back again. I went to Perth. I came back again, and all over the world. And since then, it has changed. Remember, seest thou a man who is diligent, who is consistently diligent? Yes, he will stand before kings. Heaven has to judge you ready to stand before kings. Heaven has to judge you ready. And I hope that at the end of today, you will see that perspective. If you're already getting blessed, say yes. Say yes. Somebody said, how can you be consistent if you've been struggling? Don't worry, I have some really great tips for you today. All right, so I'm just going to skip all of this introduction, but I want you to know this. These are two quotes that often linger in my head whenever I think of consistency, and I thought to share them with you. Number one, all roads that lead to success have consistency in them. So if you're really mindful about being successful, if you really want to be successful, then you realize you come to terms with the fact that consistency is a non-negotiable. You can't negotiate consistency. And I know some of us are struggling. That's why I started with that song. You're human, you're a holy woman, and it can be tough. All right. But you have to find a way. And I'll show you some of the ways. How have I been consistent? I'll show you some practical tips as well. All right. Another quote is, consistent action creates consistent results. And if you're not having consistent results, nobody will pay you. Let me say that again. People pay you based on the problems you solve and how consistent you are in solving that problem. If you only solve it once, nobody will notice. It is the consistency of the results that you get that makes them to say, oh, I want that result too, and I believe you are the one that can give it to me. But if they don't see you consistent for where, nobody will come to you. So very important. All right, let's get right into some of the things I have for us today. The dictionary meaning of consistency is where I want to start from. And I've shared this dictionary meaning because this is literally the foundation of being consistent. It says the quality of always behaving or performing in a similar way, or of always happening in a similar way. I want to bring out the word behave. It means consistency is a behavior. Consistency is a habit. And what motivates behavior? Forgive me, I'm a scientist by nature. I do research. I'm a researcher, so I'm always, very concerned about, the what, the hows, and the why. What motivates behavior? What motivates behavior is our attitude and our belief system. And what motivates our belief system is literally our thoughts, the way we think. Let me say that again. If consistency is a behavior, what motivates that behavior is your attitude or your belief system, what you believe. All right. And what motivates what you believe? They are your thoughts, the way you think. No wonder the Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So in other words, if we want to get someone to be consistent, we need to get them to think right. We need to get them to start thinking right about what consistency really is, right? And why they have to be consistent so that they can be consistent. It's almost that simple. Literally, if we want someone to be consistent, we've got to get them to start thinking right about being consistent. The very same way, any behavior you want to change, you've got to change how you think about that behavior, and then you realize that is the foundation of that change. So this is very important. There's a story of a king and a prophet in the Bible, the King Joash. Some of you may know this story already. The prophet was about to, leave the earth, and he was about to die. And this king had come crying to him, about a solution to the imminent wars and struggles that he was going to have after the prophet may have passed on, saying, hey, there's going to be a problem. There's a problem on the horizon. Oh, please, what can I do about it? And the king said, listen, get some arrows and your bow and shoot those arrows through your window, shoot them into the ground. And this guy started shooting, and he shot 3 times and stopped. And the Bible says the prophet was very angry, saying that, why did you stop? If you truly want to see the end of your enemies, if you truly want to be victorious, if you truly want to reign in your kingdom for a long time, you should not have stopped. You should have been consistent. You should have kept on shooting until I tell you to stop. Well, the Bible says, at least maybe for about 6-7 times. You should have been consistent. You should have kept on shooting, keep on shooting, keep on shooting. Why is that so important? Let me tell you another one. Remember I remember a story I heard from John Maxwell the other time, talking about the parable of the tree, the parable of the axe to the tree. There's this tree. Imagine this tree in a bush. Just imagine with me, this tree in a bush. All right, and all you have is an axe. You don't have any of this mechanized tool to cut it down and all of that, but you need to cut that tree down, right? All right. What you probably do will be to go to the tree, all right, and swing your axe at it every single day till that tree comes down. You may not be able to do it in one day, and that's okay. As long as your goal and your mission is to cut that tree down, what you need to do is to go to the base of the tree every single day, swing your axe at it at least 5 times. In the words of John Maxwell, he says you swing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe you come back tomorrow, swing it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You come back the next day, you swing at it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would agree with me after a while, no matter how massive this tree is, it will eventually come down. That's the power of consistent action. Just like that king, he will get victory if he continues to shoot the arrow. The reason why many of us can't get our arrows to be effective, the reason why many of us, or everything you've been doing, like the words of one of my teachers to me one day after failing WAEC, how many of us know WAEC? After failing WAEC so terribly, the guy said, Samuel, you are brilliant, but you are like someone who is trying to push maybe like a graven image or a sculpture. You're trying to push it over, but you push, and instead of that thing falling off or falling over, the thing keeps doing like this, keeps rocking like a rocking chair, and it wouldn't fall down. I will never forget that picture. I was in secondary school. I was just probably 16 or so, but that picture still lingers in my head. He said, that thing is like this. It's not falling down because you are not pushing enough. You're not. I said, what? He said, you have to push harder. You have to push harder. You have to push harder. And then it will fall. And I'm glad the following year I pushed harder and it fell. Some of us, the results you seek is on the other side of your consistency. You have the vision. You probably caught the clarity of your purpose. You're hungry, you're desirous, but you have not been consistent. That is one secret ingredient to every formula of success that many of us don't get. And until you get it, heaven will not judge you ready. I mean it, and I mean it. Because everyone that you see successful today, they did not ignore that very ingredient of consistency. Very important. And I want to show you some things really quickly. 3 things we can get from the king's story that I believe is very instrumental to what the rest of things I'll be sharing with you today. Number 1, the king did not understand why he had to shoot the arrows. He didn't understand why he had to shoot the arrows multiple times. Like some of us, we don't understand why we have to be consistent. I mean, can't I just do it once in a while? Like when I feel like it. I love the words of Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy would say, successful people do what they need to do, when they need to do it, whether they feel like it or not. Let me say that again a bit slowly so you can write it down in your notes. Successful people do what they need to do, when they need to do it, whether they feel like it or not. Because sometimes with consistency, you are not going to feel like it. Oh my goodness. How have I recorded almost 300 videos of multivitality every week? Oh, I tell you, there are times I don't feel like it. I don't feel like making the videos. I don't feel like bringing my cameras out. I don't just feel like it. There were days I was sick. There were weeks that I was sick for the entire week and I still have to make the videos. There were days I was traveling. There were days the entire week I was somewhere else. I was outside the country, but I still had to make the videos. Some of them I had to make three of them ready in advance before I even travel, so that my wife would help me release them before I go. That was I understood why, and I could not just pass on those days that I was not feeling like it. Number 2, the man had no vision of the future. The prophet could see the future, but this man couldn't really get the perfect picture of the future. He didn't understand that what he was doing was really for a full victory over his enemy. He probably just thought, if I just shoot it once, that should be enough. So he got bored, shot it 3 times and stopped. Like some of us, we do it 1 or 2 times, 3 times, and then you get bored and then you stop. And then you blame God. But God, why are the opportunities not coming to me? It's because heaven hasn't judged you ready. A vision of the future would help you stay, would give you staying power. And number 3, he lacked discipline to keep going. That's why the prophet was hungry. I mean, I didn't tell you to stop. Consistency requires discipline. But we'll get into the practicality of it later. Reasons why you have to be consistent. I thought I'll bring this out really quickly. I attribute this to John Maxwell, and I found it very powerful. 5 reasons I'm going to share with you really quickly. Number 1, consistency is a prerequisite to excellence. It's a prerequisite to excellence. If you are going to be judged excellent in what you do, you must be consistent. The only way to be excellent is to be consistent. Because listen to this, you can't become excellent doing something once a while. If even you will not pay a surgeon who wants to do a surgical operation on you, and he's doing it for the first time, or he's doing it for the second time with no supervision. You say, excuse me, I value my life. But imagine the surgeon comes to you and say, hello, how are you doing? I heard that you do this. Guess what? I've been doing this consistently for the past 10 years. This is my 1000th. You will, absolutely, doctor. You will be smiling all the way because you feel like you're in good hands. The reason why many people are not paying you is because they don't feel like they're in good hands. They can't judge your excellence based on doing things once in a while. So you are a speaker, you are a coach, you're a trainer, but the only time we ever see you on social media is just when you dance. Excuse me, dancing and speaking, they don't go together. They don't go together. Whatever it is that you are called to do, you've got to be doing it consistently. If you're a speaker, speak consistently. That's why I shared my story with you. Speak consistently. If nobody is giving you a platform now, create your own platform. Open your own podcast, create your own YouTube channel, whatever it is, open your Instagram and speak daily. Literally speak every day, speak weekly, create a program, make it episodic, have it on episode every single week or something, or every day, whichever one that you can work on. And I'll give you some practical tips before we finish as well on how to actually be, especially for those who are struggling. Right. So you can't get good at doing things once in a while. Number two, consistency establishes your reputation. Just what I was sharing earlier on. If you say you are a speaker, then you've got to keep speaking. You've got to be speaking consistently. You've got to be that person that people will describe by what you do daily. People will describe you by what they see you do daily. So if you're doing nothing, they describe you with nothing. Real champions have to be consistently good. The people we pay to see, to watch them, whether you watch people perform in an orchestra or you go to a restaurant to buy something, because you are assured of the taste of the food that you're going to get. That's why you go and pay. Because they've been doing it consistently enough to be able to produce the same taste that you want, that you desire. I mean, why would you buy a particular food? It's because there is something, you desire that taste. I love butter chicken, Indian butter chicken a lot. And every time I go, it's because I desire that taste. So I go to the person that I know has a reputation to produce that taste and I pay. The reason why nobody is paying you now is because you have a reputation of not showing up. If you want things to change, have a reputation of showing up. Number three, consistency provides security to others. This is so important. This is so important. If you want people to feel secure in what you do, trust you, then you must be consistent. Otherwise, nobody will give you their money and they will say, come and collect the product tomorrow, and they come to there and they and they come there tomorrow and you're not there. In Nigeria, we call that 419. Apologies to the non-Nigerians at home and on this call. The people, and guess what? People will tell someone else. They will say, when I went there yesterday, she was not there. Say, do you know somewhere where they sell shoes? They say, yeah, that place. I don't even know what they sell because they're never there. That's how you begin to lose people. That's how you begin to lose money. Don't expect people to feel secure in your product or services or anything you do if you're not consistent. They must trust you to deliver. They must trust you to show up. And number four, consistency reinforces your purpose, your vision, and value. If you say truly that this is what your purpose is, then you have got to be consistent. It is what reinforces your commitment to that purpose, your commitment to that vision, your commitment to those core values. Very important. And of course, to the value that you bring to the table. Okay. Some people will say, there's this thing on social media and say, well, somebody asks them, what did you bring to the table? Say, I am the table. You are not at the table until you are consistently showing up. Very important. I love this quote by John Maxwell. He says, persistence will help you get it, but consistency will help you keep it. Let me explain this quote for a minute. Many times, many of us are persistent, but we are not consistent. You are persistent, you are resilient, you get that thing, but the moment you get it, all of a sudden, you are contented just getting it. What you don't know is that it takes consistency to keep it. Whatever God has given to you, it takes consistency to keep your marriage. And some of us already know that for those who are married. Consistency of demonstrating love, consistency of appreciating the other person, consistency of appreciating what you bring, and all of those things like that. Don't let me go into, I'm not a marriage counselor or a marriage preacher, but you all understand what I'm trying to say. Anything you want to keep, it takes consistency to keep it. Persistency will help you get it too. Persistence will help you get it, but it is consistency that will help you to keep it. All right. So anything you want to lose fast, don't be consistent in it. That's just the message. Anything you want to lose, just don't be consistent. You will soon lose it. If you have a great shape now, you have a wonderful body, don't worry. Just stop being consistent in your healthy living and you will see that you will lose it. All right, I just had to bring that one in because I know we ladies will catch that. We'll get it sharp. And lastly, consistency compounds. Oh, I love anytime I listen to John Maxwell talk about this. All right, for some of us who are familiar with investments, you understand compound interest. When they explain the concept of compound interest to you at the bank, let's use the bank as an example of where you're investing your money. In the initial sense, it doesn't make sense. If they tell you 2% of your investment, you'll be getting it every month. 2%. 2%. What's 2%? What's 2% of 1 million naira? What's 2% of $1,000? What's 2%? It's just it doesn't make sense. And guess what? Some people will and they will not invest. 2 years down the road, 2% will compound and become $1,000 or 1,000. I don't know, 100,000 naira, 10,000 naira. Remember swinging at the tree? Bam, bam. It's compounding. The tree didn't fall today. It didn't fall tomorrow. One day, consistency compounds. The tree will be weak enough by your swinging at its base that it would eventually fall. But if you get distracted by another tree, this is one of the reasons why many of us are not consistent. We lose focus. We are distracted. We'll talk about that very soon. All right. You get distracted by another tree. Say, this other tree, hey. So today, because you're distracted, you waste your 5 swings and you put it on another tree. And then you go to another one, you look at another tree. You realize no tree will ever fall down where you are. This is why many of us are never getting results in any area of life. Because we are never consistent. We keep getting distracted. Consistency compounds. You may not see the result of what you're doing today, but keep at it. Keep growing. Keep getting better. Keep growing. Keep getting better. I was telling my sons, 6 and 7 years old, I was telling them just yesterday, I said, guess what? You are not better than anybody, and nobody's better than you. I just had to let them know that principle. You're not better than anybody, and nobody's better than you, but they are doing better than you. So I said, if you want to be better, then you have to find out what they are doing that is better. And then you start doing it too. You start learning too. You start growing too. And you start improving. And nobody is better than you. They are just doing better. They just know better. In the words of Maya Angelou, when you know better, we do better. But if you don't know better, you don't do better. Some of us are competing with some people. You think some people are better than you and you want to outshine them. No one is better than you. They are just doing something better. They know something you don't know. So stop competing. I'll go and ask them, go and buy them lunch. I said, this thing that is making you do better, I want to do it better. Now I want to go to how to be consistent and we'll finish. Okay. Because I'm mindful of time and I know that some of us want to ask some questions. So we'll engage at that when we get there. If you're already getting blessed, let me see. Just say yes in the chat. If this is really, really getting to you, if it's really helping you, say yes in the chat. If you're picking up 1 or 2 things, thank you. So how was I able to produce over 200 videos, going to 300 videos consistently every week? How do I show up on my social media posting about 3, 4, 5 times a day? How? And I know you'll be asking. And I know maybe you've tried before and you stopped. But this will help you. Number 1, define your why and your vision. And write them down. Don't just know it in your head. No. Don't just memorize it. Write them down. Write them where you can see it every day. Because it reminds you of why you started. And on the days you want to quit, you remember your why. And you remember where God is taking you. Vision means where God is taking you, by the way. So if you don't know where God is taking you, I can promise you for a fact, with my little walk with God, God delights in showing people where he's taking them. So if you don't know where God is taking you now, please go on a retreat. And I just want you to pray one single prayer. Lord, show me where you're taking me. Of course, this is not a sermon, so let me stop here. All right. Define your why and define your vision. And you will realize that consistency becomes easier when you know your why. Because there'll be days you'll be tired. There'll be days you'll be asking, why did I even start making these videos? Like me. Who sent me? Anybody ever asked that question before? Like, who sent me? As in, who sent me this? The answer to that question is your why. That's why if you don't have it written down, you would easily believe that lie in your head that nobody sent you. So you might as well just stop. You might as well not do it today and you do it tomorrow. You might as well not do it this week. You try again next week. Anybody ever felt like that? You hear it in your head. You don't have, I mean, if you miss one day, it's not like the world will come to an end. Anybody ever felt like that? It's not like the world will come to an end. I will do it tomorrow, Jerry. And then tomorrow again. It's not like the world will come to an end. They got you. Who are they got you. They just got you. You realize you suddenly become consistent in doing nothing. Because if you're going to be consistent, you got to have to let go of your feelings. How you feel doesn't matter. You just have to show up. And I will give you some tips to also help with how you feel sometimes. So write it down. Put it somewhere. Put it somewhere where you can see it daily. Very important. This one, I'm not joking about it. It's so important. It's so important. If I could just make a reference to the Bible one more time. There's a time God was speaking some things to Habakkuk. And what he was saying to him wasn't something, that was going to happen at that time. It was something that was going to happen in the future. And God said, write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down. He says that they will run that seed. You need to study that scripture and meditate on the word run. Run is not something, it's something of energy, something that requires passion, zest. So if anyone is going to put passion in anything, you have to write it down. You have to document it. If you're going to see your passion not dwindle, your enthusiasm not fade, your zest carry you, you've got to write it down. That's the principle. If it's not documented, if it's not codified, if you can't see it, you won't do it. Because the way the Bible ended, the way God told Habakkuk, he said that they will run that see it. So they have to see it to run. Could it be the reason why you're not running is because you can't see? One more reference to the Bible. The Bible talks about Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. The Bible says, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. Who for the joy that was set before him. Many times we don't have any joy set before us. That's why you cannot endure. You can't push through the feeling that you have right now because you can't see anything in front of you. And as long as you cannot see, you won't run. You won't endure. You won't push through your pain because sometimes consistency will require pain. All right. Number 2, decision, determination, discipline. I had to put this one together because it would just be one. And I like to talk. Before you know it, we're here for 5 hours. I don't have to put them together. Okay. You've got to make a decision that I will be consistent. And let me tell you one of the decisions I made. How is that? Because I'm able to bring videos out every Monday and be consistent and produce podcasts twice a week and do this every day and show up on social media every day. I just saw somebody look at me like, podcast twice a week, hey? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. You can check my podcast. Yes, you can see it. But the real key, and blogs too. I write blogs too every week. Every single week. If you go to samuelekundayo.com/blogs, you see that. The point I'm trying to make is I want you to get this. It starts with a decision. Somebody say decision. Yes, decision that I'm going to do this every day. And what do you do with decision? You make a determination to make it happen. Let me break it down. And I'll give you an example. So I no longer make multi-vitality. God asked me to stop because of another assignment, which I'm on to now, and I'm also consistent in that one too. I'll tell you about it later. All right. And now I focus on my children. My children, I release videos every week. So, because I'm trying to get them to become who God has created them to be. We've kind of get a sense of what their gift is. So my wife and I, we are pushing to really help them become the brand as early as possible. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, I want to give you a template of how it works. So let's say you want to be making a podcast every day. Who wants to make podcast every week or every day or every whatever? Okay. All right. Thank you, Tim, and anybody else that I can't see. All right. Yeah. And Jideka, thank you. All right. You want to make podcasts every week. The first thing you need to make as a decision is you want to do it every week. Every week. Okay. Now I need you to pick a day of the week that you're going to release it. Please help me write these things down. Or, of course, I'm sure you will watch the recording. So pick a day of the week that you will release it. That's number one. Pick a day in the week that you are going to do it without fail. And pick a time that day that you will do it of the week. So this is why I always advise people. As a coach, I go to the nitty-gritty of these things when I coach people. Look at your calendar. Look at your most free day. That day that you don't have church, that day that you don't have to cook all those things that you put in the freezer as a wife. There will always be that one day like that. One day. My problem with you is that I know you like to use that day to watch movies and just have fun. I know. But can we reduce the time we watch movie and just give it 7 to 8 p.m. to quickly sit down at your desk and quickly record that thing? Or quickly put on your cameras and record that video? Can you do that? Just separate that 1 hour. Please, somebody should remind me there is a formula I want to share with you later, but I don't want to miss what I'm sharing right now. Pick a day, pick a time. The reason many of us are not consistent is you don't pick a day, you don't pick a time. The reason why you don't consistently pray is because you have not picked a day, you have not picked a time. If anything, you don't pick a day and a time you don't have an appointment for, you will never be consistent at it. Let me say that again. Anything you don't make an appointment in your calendar for, that your body, your brain reminds you and is ready to work with you at that particular point in time, you will not write a book. You will not, what is it that you don't know? You will not create that podcast. You will not create that blog. It's not a curse. You will not be consistent on social media until you pick a day and a time. Your brain has to register it. People in your house have to know it. People in my house, they know multi-vitality on Mondays is multi-vitality Monday. In fact, my kids, I think I only just stopped doing it last year when God asked us to stop. I think last year, December was when God asked us to stop. So it was just recently, all right? My kids already know, even when they were 2 and 3, they would say, Daddy, you are recording your videos today, right? Yes. So that time they don't disturb me. They'll go and play. They'll watch their own show and all of that. Because they know Mondays are busy. And wonderfully, my wife will be the one taking over that particular Monday. I'm the one that have the most flexible job amongst both of us. So most other days I'm there. But that Monday, everybody leaves it to me. Even if she's on the night shift, the kids know that Daddy's recording. Daddy's recording a video. They won't jump on unless I call them. Because they've seen me consistently doing it every Monday at that particular point in time when they can return back from school, and they don't bother. They don't disturb. Is somebody following me? If the people that live with you don't know that this is what you do at a particular day, at a particular point in time, nobody will respond to your grit and your determination to do it. Nobody will respond. Your kids will think you are joking. Your husband will think you are joking. Because you've not shown them the determination and the discipline. It is when they see you determined and disciplined that they will align. I'm serious. Your kids will align. Your husband will align. Because they can see your grit. They can see your determination. In fact, they will start seeing the results that you produce. Because of that, they will know that this is business for this woman. Better let her do. Your husband will help you take care of the kids because they can see that you're determined and they can see the result of your determination coming through. But when you are not serious, you do it this week, do it next week, you know, say, honey, I want to record my podcast this week. And you look after the kids. My husband say, you that you did not even do it last night. You think you're serious? I mean, I know your husband is very supportive. I know your husband loves you, is supportive. Probably say, oh, yeah, bring the kids, don't worry. That's what I believe. Somebody say amen. If you understand what I'm saying, say So you must pick a day and pick a time. And I will tell you why this is so important. Listen to this. This number 3 is, I could do a whole masterclass on this. This number 3, all of life is energy management. There is nothing called time management. There is nothing called time management. You know why? You can't manage time. Time is constant. Time is not going anywhere. You are the one going somewhere. You are the one dying every day. Sorry, all the Christians amongst us, you are not dying every day. You are living every day in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. But excuse me, it's the truth. You are dying every day. Every day you celebrate your birthday is one day closer to the grave. That's the truth. Let's tell ourselves the truth. So the day you keep postponing that thing you're supposed to be consistent in is like you're getting closer to your grave. So when are you eventually going to do it? But all of life is energy management. Why? Because time is constant. Time doesn't change. You can't reduce time. You can't increase time. Time is constant. What really is happening within you that you don't know is your energy. That's the one you've got to manage. That's the one that is going somewhere. That's the one that you only have a finite amount of per day. Per day. You can't increase it, but you can manage it. It is how you use your energy that determines how much you are able, how effective and consistent you will be. So, Dr. Sam, what do you mean? Okay, let's assume that every single day, you know how some of you measure calories? I know now we are women. Calories is very important. You know, the way you measure calories, I want you to start measuring your energy like that. Assume you only have 120 kilojoules per day that you're going to use. Please, the one greatest mistake you can make, the same way when it comes to losing weight, is to not know how much calorie or have a goal of the calories that you need per day. If you cannot be accountable to the calories or the energy, let me use calorie because I think the message will resonate deeper. If you don't have a goal of how much calorie you want per day, you eat anything. You will behave anyhow. The same way, imagine you only have 120 kilojoules per day of energy. You want to make sure, and I got this from Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog. Everybody in this room should read that book. Eat That Frog. You put it on the most important things first. Do the most important things first. When your energy is still up, when your energy is still full, put that energy into something or conserve it for that thing. Anything you want to be consistent in, you must put it when your energy is the uppermost or the highest. Let me explain. Some of us are night people, nocturnal, or we are day people, diurnal, right? So your energy is either usually or always the highest during the day or at night. If you understand what I'm saying, say yes. Yes, yes. No matter who you are. Some of us are night people, some of us are day people. I'm a night person. The moment it becomes 7 p.m. and everywhere is starting to get dark, my energy is up. My wife always complains. My energy is up. That's when I will just pick her up like this and I will just throw her around. I'll just be so full of energy. You know, it's like I can, you know, in the words of David in the Bible, by God, I can leap over a wall and run through it. That's me. Moments is that night like this. If you are that person, you must understand this. Anything you want to be consistent in, you have to put it at that time. I'm being practical now so that we all can get it. If you're a morning person and you want to be consistent with your prayer life, put your prayer in the morning. If you're a night person and you want to be consistent in your prayer life, put your prayer time at night. Forget all these things that you say early in the morning, early in the morning, I will rise and praise the Lord. Excuse me. It's when your energy is off that you should rise and praise the Lord. It's sincerely speaking. The reason why you struggle is because some of you are a morning person. You're a morning person. Listen to this. And your energy dwindles immediately after it's 3 o'clock. The moment it's 3 o'clock, it's like you're just going down. And that's the time you finish work. You come back home. You make dinner. You do whatever it is that you have to do. By the time it's 7 o'clock, it's as if somebody has knocked the life out of you. So you now say, okay, now I want to sit down and record podcast. Which podcast? You will not record it. If you do, maybe you do 1 or 2 or 3, you push yourself to. But after a while, it's because you are doing it when your energy has dwindled. Learn to manage your energy. Like I said, I could do a whole masterclass on this. I could tell you a lot of things about this in 5 hours because I've studied it. If you study quantum physics, you understand this point that I'm trying to make as well. There's also something called energy vibration, but I won't go into that one. Because your life vibrates on the frequency of the energy that you are getting. So you must learn to manage energy. You must learn it. So listen to this. If you're a morning person, while on a normal day, you wake up for work at 4, at 5 or 6, all right, so you can get things done. Don't wake up at 5 or 6. Why not wake up 1 hour before and spend that 1 hour to record that podcast? Because you're a morning person anyway, there's a likelihood you would have gone to bed earlier. Yes, morning people always go to bed early. They are the people that once it's 10 o'clock like this, they don't want to hear anything anymore. Okay, we're all adults here, so I can joke a little bit. Well, by that time, that's what you are the kind of person that when your husband calls you and it's already 10 o'clock, there's no, you are not answering. You are not even answering. You just pretend like you have slept under the blanket. But if they call you early in the morning, in fact, you are the one that will jump on the person. That's you understand now. All of us understand. You get it. If you get it, say If you don't get it, you don't get it, God will explain it to you later. But I'm sure you all catch the level of practicality I'm trying to share here. This is where the level of self-awareness comes through. Understand who you are. Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? Are you diurnal? Are you nocturnal? Now, place that thing you want to be consistent in during the time your energy is up. Give it an appointment. My time of study and prayer and writing, they're usually at night from 10 p.m. to about 2 a.m. I sleep about 2, 3 a.m. every day because that's when my energy is most up. And my kids have gone to bed. My wife has gone to bed. That's when I'm seated here. Here, where I'm in right now is my garage. All right. And I have my books here. This is like my man cave. I have all these lights and computers and cameras and all of that. By the time I turn it up, I'm recording my video. I'm recording my podcast. The microphone is right here. All right. I'm recording my podcast. Everything is here. Everything is here. I sit down here and I write. This is where I write my books. This is where I create my programs. This is where I create my master classes. This is where I do my coaching. This is where I can do tons of things here. This is where I pray. I lie down on the floor here. Many times I pray. This is it. Make an appointment for that thing you want to be consistent in and when your energy is most up and maximize it. All right. Because of time, let me just stop there. There's so much more. And of course, you can ask questions if there's anything more specific that you want to know. All right. I want to talk about focus and distraction because this is literally what is killing many of us. We keep feeding our distraction. So you make an appointment for that time and you've done well. You've listened to Dr. Sam so far. You've made an appointment for that time when your energy is most up. And then all of a sudden you carry your phone. And you open Instagram and you start scrolling and you start scrolling and you start scrolling and you start scrolling. 2 hours has gone. I say, and they say, why aren't you doing? I'm busy. You and I know. And I know that you have been feeding your distractions. Some of you, it's when your friend will just call you. That your friend, and you will speak for 5 hours over the phone or 2 hours over the phone. And they've used that energy. Remember when your energy is most up. Listen to this. When my energy is up during that time, my phone is on automatic do not disturb. I set it at automatic do not disturb. And I don't bring my phone into this garage those times. My phone is usually locked up somewhere else. My phone is either in the living room. My phone is either upstairs. Literally, I don't joke with my phone. I don't put my phone at that time. Most of the time you see me post on social media. Some people think I'm live. I'm online. I'm not online. I've scheduled the post. 5 days before, 7 days before, 3 days before. I can show you some things, right? If you're my coaching client, I'll show you all of these things. I'll show you the practicality behind some of these things. Sometimes you have to schedule some things and get it done ahead. Put your phone away. If you're a Netflix somebody, don't go and sit in the parlor and say you want to record podcasts or write for where. Find somewhere where there's no TV. Stop feeding your distraction. You have to be determined. Remember, all of life is energy management. Manage your energy. That friend that always call you when your energy is most up. Maybe you are a night person and it is when you are settled down to write like this, that friend will just call you. And you think they are your friend. They are not your friend. Sincerely speaking, don't pick the call. Sincerely, don't pick that call. Don't even text and say, oh, can I call you back? No. Just don't pick it. You have the right not to pick your phone. Sorry, I can get this practical. You have the right to not answer your phone. Some of us don't know. You think it's rude to not answer your phone. It's not rude. I don't know why I'm sharing this. I think this is somebody's deliverance. But I think I should go there. Anytime my spirit is nudging me to go deeper into something, I do. All right, you've got to be the CEO of your life. Okay? You can make an appointment with people on the time to call. If you call me when I did not tell you to call me, unless you are my mentor or you are my wife, I'm not picking you up. I'm not picking it up. I pick it when I have the time to talk to you. It's not rude. If you call me during 10 p.m. New Zealand time or to about 1 a.m., 12 noon, you will see that sometimes, unless I'm taking a break, because sometimes I take a break, when I'm studying, I'll do something for like 10 to 11, and I'll take a break for 15 minutes. Yes, I can take a break and look at social media a little bit. Even that social media, I will do it on my computer, not on my phone, in a way that is not too comfortable for me. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. And you can use your Pomodoro technique, right? Any of us know Pomodoro technique. You work for some time, you take a break for some time. You work for some time, you take a break for some time. But don't take a break and then sway completely. No. All right, because of time, let's move on. All right, so stop feeding your distractions, please. We all know what our distractions are. Everybody here, I believe we are old enough to know what our distractions are. So stop feeding them. All right, stop feeding them. And lastly, what I want to share with you today. Listen to this. Turn actions into habits. If you want to be consistent, psychologists have told us that anything you want to be successfully, if you can turn it into a habit, you're most likely going to be successful in it. What they're literally saying is, if you can be consistent at it, you'll be successful at it. And I've shared something with us the other time earlier on. Write down, make an appointment with that thing. Write down what you have to do per day and make an appointment to do them within that day. I'm going to do this at 11. I'm going to do this at 1 p.m. I'm going to do this at 8 p.m. But Dr. Sam, I have kids. The reason why your kids don't take you seriously too is because you don't have such appointments. Yes, I tell my kids, I say, guys, we're spending time together at 5 o'clock. In the meantime, go and read your book. All right, between now and 5, go and read your book. Everybody go into your room and start reading. Everybody go and read. In the meantime, go on YouTube and start learning adverbs and proverbs. And I give them what to do. And I said, everybody will come back in 1 hour to discuss it. In that 1 hour, I'm reading my book. In that 1 hour, I'm having a nap. In that 1 hour, hey, by the way, I need to tell people, if you're a night person, listen to this. One of the ways to maximize your night is to always take afternoon naps or evening naps. Quick one. Can just be for 20 minutes. Can just be for 30 minutes. Very important because it re-energizes you. Remember, energy management. I don't have time to tell you all the science of it, but we have to stop now. So make an appointment every single day. Yes. Oh, Tombra said that is for me. Absolutely. If you're a night person, always have afternoon naps. They're called power naps. Right? It might just be 20 minutes you will get away from the kids. Just go and have it somewhere. Just and don't disturb me. If you have a toddler, it may be very tough. So it's probably when the toddler sleeps that you quickly go and crash to really quickly. And for parents here, let me quickly share one tip with you that would help you, because I'm done. Parents, especially parents with young kids, once your kids turn 2, I want you to start practicing the art of making them sleep at a particular time. Or in my own opinion, that's one of the best things my wife and I agreed on. Very funny enough, we didn't learn it from anywhere. My wife just came up with the idea when they turn 2 that we should tell them 8 o'clock is for bed. And of course, initially it was a struggle, now 1-year-old, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, they don't like to go and sleep. They don't want to sleep. And that's when they throw tantrum. They are sleepy, but they would throw tantrum, and before you know, that tantrum can last till 11. But we just stuck to our, find one of you, between your husband and you, the person that has the toughest, the tough face, to go, hey, everybody sleep now. I'm that person in our house. If you don't sleep now, and do it consistently. You remember consistently. What you realize is the kids will get used to it. They will get used to it. My kids have gotten used to it now. Once it's 8 p.m., we pray for them. They go and sleep. And my wife and I can have time. This consistency too is not just to do things on, for professional. And sometimes you need consistency for this something too. If you don't create the time for consistency, it will not work. Hallelujah. If you understand what I'm saying, say So one of the ways to do it is to put the kids to sleep consistently at a particular point in time, and then you have the rest of the time. My wife and I, we have date nights on Thursdays and Sundays. This is how it works. This is how we're able to do it consistently, because we create a schedule for them. They go to bed at 8, between 8 and the rest of the night, we have it all to ourselves. So many times my wife goes into her study, I come into my man cave, and we're doing things. All right. And the days that are date nights, we're doing it together. You see how it works? Even if you want to have a consistent prayer life, this is literally how it works. You've got to be intentional. Let me stop here, because we can do this for 5 hours. Tombra knows, so let's just stop here. It's been a great privilege and joy being here. There are a few things I want to share with you guys, with permission. Some things you should know about me. If you're here, you're struggling to discover the purpose of God for your life, please. And you've struggled, you've prayed, you've tried things, and it's not working. Just go on to the School of Purpose and Influence. Go on to Spin University, spinuniversity.org. The school is in session right now, so admissions are not open yet, but you can join the wait list. And please, when you eventually apply properly. Even though the school is free, all of the school is free. It's a 15 weeks program, but we only admit students that are ready. So in your statement of intent, please, we have many testimonies from 55-year-old women who have discovered their purpose through coming to the School of Influence, School of Purpose and Influence, and their life has changed. So if you're one of those people, you haven't discovered the purpose of God for your life, you want to know what your purpose is, and you need help, the School of Purpose and Influence is for you. So spinuniversity.org, you can join the waiting list. And our new session starts in July, I believe. So another one is on right now. Another thing that I have, Tombra, do I have permission to talk about some of my products? Is it okay?
Yes, you do. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So I run this Kingdom Impact Coaching for Women, and it's for 3 months intensively. This is only for people who are speakers, trainers, coaches, and authors. If God has asked you to start speaking or coaching or training or being an author or being a thought leader, and you don't know where to start, you don't know how to start, you need accountability and all of those things like that. You want to build a brand, you don't understand. We're starting a beginner version of the Kingdom Impact Coaching for 3 months, starting on the 15th of April. So the time is of the essence. So if you go right now to samuelekundayo.com/KIC, you can literally join the next train. The good news is, even though this is $499, you can pay in 3 installments. So if you're thinking, oh, that's a lot, all right, you can pay in 3 installments, and you will join the train of other women who are committed to fulfilling God's purpose as a speaker, as a trainer, as a coach, as an author. If you've heard this and you need more, you need help, maybe the question and answer session really doesn't do it for you, and you need a clarity session with me, you can also book that at samuelekundayo.com/coaching, or maybe you just need one-on-one coaching as well. you can do that too. But of course, you should speak to Tombra as well, because she's also a coach and she's more than happy to help you. But if there's something specific you think I can help with,
Yeah.
Samuel Ekundayo.com/coaching. Awesome. That's it
Oh
for me
gosh.
today.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. What an awesome session. Guys, I want to see your feedback after that amazing session. I want to see your feedback. What are you guys saying? Guys, bring it in the comments box. Can you guys hear me? Can I just check you can hear me? Okay,
yes,
good.
we can hear you. Loud
yes,
and clear.
Tombra.
Fantastic. Thank you. What are you guys saying? Oh, I'm so blown away. Yes, we can. I want you to drop your key nuggets. What is something that you've taken away from today's session that will stay with you about consistency that you remember before we even get into questions? Thank you so, so much. I'm so blown away. That was super fantastic. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Dr. Sam, I have to tell you, as somebody who has listened to you over, I've listened to you in different interactions, as being your coaching, your coachee. Today was just something else. You brought something, a different dimension that I haven't ever seen before, a depth that was just unbelievable. Thank you so much for demystifying this thing called consistency. Thank you so, so, so much. You've made it so easy. I mean, where do you guys want to come from? He answered every single thing, but I know we still have questions. We will still ask questions. Okay, so I'm going to read this. Say that was super, extremely awesome. Persistency helps you get it. Consistency helps you keep it. I love that. I thought it was only me that heard that. Sometimes we're persistent. We want to get it. As soon as we get it, that's it. We can't keep it. And it's all about keeping it. Sustaining is where you want to be. Someone says, get everyone involved so that they can see your grit and fall in line. That was mega good. Get everyone, because if everyone is not involved, they will not understand what you're doing. They will not support you. They will not get in line. I love what you were speaking about, your boys and everything, because they all understand that this is what you do. And I think it's similar for me as well. The girls know. They know. Mommy is podcasting, you stay away. Mommy is doing the, they understand what the boundaries are and they understand why I'm doing it and they support me in it. I see create appointment for what you want to be consistent with. This is where I have struggled. Njigeka says, I just say I want to do it, but there's no appointment, there's no date, there's no time. And once you don't put the date and time, you're telling yourself that, you know what, I'll do it whenever. I'll do it whenever. Alari says the only way you can be excellent is to be consistent. Chidima says fix a particular time to carry your task every day. Stephanie says I should utilize my energy well. That energy accounting thing. Oh my God, I even have questions about that. So I'm going to come for you, sir, on that one. Energy account, when my energy is up. Know when your energy is up. Fix the important thing there. Take an afternoon nap if you're nocturnal. Yes, manage your energy cycle. I must keep distractions far away. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. I can see that you guys really, really soaked all the information in. So I want you guys to put in your questions. We're going to go into question time. Actually, we will unmute. So it's not about putting in the questions. If you've got a question, use the raise hand button, and then I'll call you and you can just ask Dr. Sam before he has to go shortly, because guess what, guys? He joined the session at 6 a.m. New Zealand time. Look how much he's honored us today. He's woken up early, and I told he's a night person. He's woken up early to be here with us. Please let us just celebrate him. Let us just celebrate and say thank you. Right now, the time must be probably around 7:36 is your time, sir? Yes, 7:36 a.m. And he has been speaking. He has been here for over an hour before most of you even got here. And you guys are in normal time zone. He was here I don't want to put anybody on blast, but you guys think about that. Mercy says schedule a day and time slot for the thing you want to be consistent. Then, okay, I can already see a question. So let's even start with that before I even ask my own. If you've got any other question, guys, we'll take just a few. We want to release Dr. Sam. Dr. Sam, when is the maximum? Because I know you've got a hard deadline. 5 minutes. How much time
we have
do we
about
have?
25 minutes. We have about 25 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's generous. I was even thinking you were going to give us like 5 minutes.
No, we have about 20.
What a blessing. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get straight into it. Somebody is asking, Temitope is asking, how do I boost my energy as a morning person? How would you answer that, sir?
To boost your energy as a morning person, you need to go to bed early. That's the core thing for a morning person. You need to go to bed early. Don't let anything keep you up too much. And that's why if you have a toddler, if you have a young kid, you need to train them to also go to bed early so you can go to bed early together. That's just it for morning people. For evening people, I've told you need to have afternoon naps. Power naps, very, 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 very important. You must. It's a must. If you're a morning person, you need to go to bed early. Don't binge watch Netflix and you realize that you ruin that energy. The energy that's already doing to you, now ruin it completely, and then you now struggle to wake up in the morning. If you're a morning person and you struggle to wake up in the morning, you have spoiled your day. You have spoiled your day. And many people go about their day spoiled already every single day. And that's why they're never productive and effective. So true. So if you're a morning person, protect your morning. The same way if you're a night person, protect your night. And I've shared some practical principles how you can protect it, like guard it. Remember, your energy is actually your life. Your energy is your time. Time is not money. It is literally how you manage your energy to produce value that is money. So you have to be very intentional about guarding your energy. Guard it. So if you're a morning person, guard your morning. If you're a night person, guard your night. All right. Sleep early so that you can wake up early. So for instance, let me make it practical, because sleep early may sound like, in my house, nobody sleeps 12 or something like that. So if you're a morning person, you want to go to bed a maximum of 10 p.m., for instance. Because scientists have told us all of us need to get at least 6 to 8 hours sleep. So let's assume you sleep for 6 hours. All right. By 4, you are done. You can wake up at 4 before the kids wake up. Maybe you want to write. Maybe you want to record a podcast. Maybe you want to record a video. Maybe you want to, whatever it is, between 4 and maybe 6 that you eventually go to work. 2 hours, you've done some productive thing. Time will not. Time. Can I really share something as well?
Yes,
you see, that time that your energy is up, that you are not working for your employer, that is the time you used to build your future. The time you give to your employer is what we call your daytime, and that moves your life forward. But it's the time you have for yourself to study, to grow, to learn, to build your brand. That's what we call the time that moves your life upward. So anytime you want to go a notch higher, it's the time that you are not giving to your employer, that you put away, that helps you to move your life the next level. So that's the time you use for study. That's the time you use for the purpose of God for your life. That's the time you use to seek the kingdom of God. That's the time you use to pray. That's the time that moves your life upward. Your work employment moves your life forward. It helps you to pay the bills and all of those things. But you need time. Even if you're going to grow and become a manager, or you are going to need that time outside of work to read, to study, to go to school. So it's the things you do outside of that time that moves your life upward. So excuse me, if you kill that time, you keep moving forward, but never upward.
Wow.
This is why many people don't change levels in life. And they keep blaming God. Don't blame God. He has given you all that you need. That's why you need to guard that time. If it's that 2 hours every day, you got. It's not the amount of time, it's the consistency. If it's that 1 hour per day, that's why I don't joke with my own. Once it's 10 p.m., my phone automatically goes to do not disturb. Automatically, calls don't come in, texts don't come in, nothing comes in, because I have to guard that time. You have to, it's like your life depends on it, because that's what keeps you moving forward and moving upward. And that's why you see some people, the trajectory of their life is as if they are moving on a fast pace, and you think they are doing something magical or miracle. They are not. They are protecting what is making their life go upward. So every single day they are spending their life going upward, and you just keep spending your life going forward. You see the difference. It's only a matter of time. So I thought I would just chip in there.
That was a rema and a half. That was a rema and a half. There's a difference between moving your life forward and moving your life upwards. Woo! Somebody needs to marinate on that. That was so powerful. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I wanted to ask you about night. You know, when you're a night person, sometimes the challenge is, so I'll just kind of explain from my own perspective. So I am a natural night person, but you kind of get the feeling that, you know what, morning is good. You wake up early in the morning, you read your Bible, 5 a.m. And I struggle to kind of almost burn the candles at both ends. So I wanted to just kind of ask you, I'm happy that you are a night person as well. So how do you fit it in to ensure that you have enough time to do the other things that you need to do in terms of, you know, your walk with God and all of that? How do you structure your day?
Thank you. Sincerely speaking, I don't pray my long prayers or study of the Bible or meditation. I don't do it in the morning. I don't. I think it's just a traditional notion that we have to pray in the morning. Maybe because we read it early in the day doesn't actually mean early in the morning. No, it doesn't mean early in the morning. As long as you give God a part of your day, that's what matters. So the point I'm trying to make is, you can pray a short prayer in the morning. God is not a taskmaster. If I don't pray in the morning, God can just beat me now. Or if I don't pray in the morning, I'm going to have accidents. You will not have accidents. Right? Relationship with God is way bigger than religion. So don't do it religiously. Do it as a walk with God. All right, let me answer the question now. So I don't spend long time praying in the morning. I just pray normal prayers. I'll just pray, Father, Lord, I thank you for this one. I'm grateful for this one. I go around and lay hands on my kids when I wake up and all of those things like that. Just simple stuff. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, I'm done. But you see that 10 p.m., usually my first 2 hours, I am praying and I'm studying the Bible, usually my first 2 hours. And then I have another hour of reading books. I read about 3 books concurrently at the same time. So I break them down into 20 minutes. So I'll read this one, I'll read this. That's why I don't struggle to create content, because I'm always reading. I'm reading every day. I read tons of things every day. I study psychology, I study neuroscience. This is the time that I create to actually be able to do those things, so I can deliver and I can show up for my generation and for the kingdom. And that's the same way. So those things that really help you to move upward, you schedule all of them to that night time. And when I'm done, I record a video, I record a podcast. And when I'm done, I can be done by around 2:00. And I'll just spend maybe 30 minutes playing. I love playing chess every day. I'll just play just to tell my brain I'm winding down now. Or I go and play my console game, and I'm done. And I'm done for the day.
Wow. So and what time? And you go to bed. What time do you wake up? Usually
I wake up around 7:30, so I can get my kids ready for school, and I take them to school at 8:00 here. So for me, for 4 or 5 hours sleep, I'm good, because I will still sleep power nap in the afternoon. My power nap.
That is the thing.
My power nap is usually 1 hour. My power nap is usually 1 hour in the afternoon. And everybody in the house knows. You see my kids say, Daddy, you're going to sleep. Once it's like 5 p.m., they know, Daddy, you're going to sleep. I say, yes, I'm going to sleep now. And they know. It's non-negotiable, because I have to guard that night time.
Wow. I personally have got my deliverance here. I don't know about other people, because I've been trying to do it kind of not with the right structure. So I burn the candle at night, and then in the morning I'm up early as well, because I'm trying to, and then I have no rest in between the day, so I'm not as effective.
You will burn out. It will affect you.
I can already see that this is amazing. Okay. So I see, guys, please put your questions. We've got like 14 minutes to go.
Alaire is raising her hands as well, I think.
Alaire, oh, sorry, I'm not seeing the hands though. Alaire, unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ambra. Thank you, Dr. Sam. This was so good. I have so much to ask, but because of time and others want to ask, I'll keep it as short as possible. So with me, I find that I start up a routine because I know we read Atomic Habits in the group some months ago. I got excited. I started a routine, and I just find that after a few months, I'm back where I started from. And it's just like a cycle. And I just say to myself, what's going on? Why do I start, get excited, and I stop? So it happens not just in one aspect of my life. It just happens in every area. With waking up early to pray, with with healthy eating. I know with funny enough, with exercise, I exercise at least four, five times a week. I'm fine with that. But with the healthy eating, I do, oh God, I'm going to be healthy for 2 months and then I'm back at where I started from. So it's just a vicious cycle, and it's been going on for as long as I can remember. Same thing with praying. I want to wake up at 5 to pray. I would sleep at least by maybe 11. So 5 o'clock should be good. But when my alarm goes on, I just snooze until actually the kids come at maybe past 6. To wake me up, mommy, we are getting ready for school, something like that. So I literally, it's a prayer point. I said, God, what is going on? Why can't I just stick to something and carry on with it? Then I'm not making progress. I just feel I'm just stagnant at one spot. Yeah, so I'll just stop there. Thank you.
And thank you for sharing that last part. Like I talked about moving forward, but not moving upward. That's how you feel. You'll be moving forward, but you're not moving upward. That's why you feel that stagnancy. Let me ask you a question. Do you know if you're a morning person or an evening or a night person?
It's. I would say I'm more of a night person. Only reason I say that is. Only reason I say I'm a night person is the kids go to bed pretty early. By 8 p.m. they're in bed. So I have no excuse.
You may not be a night person, Larry. You may be forcing it because the kids go to bed early. So for instance, if you're a morning person, if you find out you're a morning person, this is where self-awareness is so important. All right. If you find out you're a morning person, that night that you're already tired, all right, even though the kids have gone to bed, you'll not be productive. You will just see yourself slouching on the couch watching. Yes. So if you're not a night person, don't force it. The moment they go to bed at 8, if you can help it and go to bed at 8, to go to bed at 8.
It won't work, bro. Because Oga is there.
Because of Oga
is a night person. My husband is a night person.
Exactly. So this is what happens if you have both not talked about it. So let's assume you talk to your husband and say, honey, I just realized that I'm a morning person. So I was wondering, remember, I joked about all of these things. And the reason why I joked about it is because I know some of us are married. So we will get it. All right. My wife is a morning person. I'm a night person. So we always have to find alignment somewhere. Right, so find alignment somewhere. The alignment is, okay, the kids have gone to bed at 8. Maybe that time with Oga can be between 8 and 10 together. Maybe that date night can be between 8 and 10. And then you sleep at 10, not 11 this time. Because on a normal day, you probably wake up so your brain has registered that you need 7 hours of sleep. All right. So and you have to allow that 7 hours to happen.
Yes.
And then also you want to practice not snoozing anymore. Right. If you can disable snoozing, disable it completely. No snoozing. Because listen, anything that you do consistently, your brain will help you do it. It's called the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has recorded that that's what you do. So you keep doing it over and over. Until the day you challenge it. I don't have time to go into the science of it. Until the day you consciously challenge it, and then you do it over and over again, then you change the programming. So don't keep going with the programming of snoozing. Stop it one day and do it more. So if you're a morning person, Larry, you want to protect that morning by as much as possible trying to go to bed as early as possible. Not 11, maybe 10, maybe 9 if you can help it. And have a conversation with your husband about it. Maybe on some days you compromise. Maybe 2 days a week you compromise and maybe stay with him till about 11. you know, and have that discussion. And then you realize the rest of the days you can really full blown sleep as early as you can and wake up as early as you can. So imagine waking up. I'm sure it would be a great blessing to you if you wake up at 4 a.m.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The way you even sound like I'm guessing you're a morning person. Like, oh wow. Like, yeah, like you maybe you wished you could do it. And you can. You just probably need to go to bed at 9. Have that conversation with Oga, you know, and maybe it's just 2, 3, 4 days a week that you will be able to do that. Maybe for now, you maybe start with 2. Let's try 2 days. Let's start with maybe Monday and Thursday and just try it out. See whether it works for you. All right. And you go to bed at 9 p.m. See whether you can wake up at 4. And I promise you, what you will do between 4 and 6 when those kids wake up, oh my God, you will feel like you've just gotten your life back.
Wow.
Now imagine if you can do it at least 3, 4, 5 times, like you talked about the exercise every week. And you are able to spend that time reading your Bible, spending time with God, studying, reading some books, and all of those things that you need to do, maybe studying for an exam, doing a certification, all those things that you need to do to move your life upward. You'll be amazed at how productive and effective you'll be.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. That really, really helped. I'll try that out. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam.
You're welcome. Praise God.
Awesome. Dr. Sam, sorry, in the comments, Temitokwa is asking for a formula. There was one formula you said.
Yes. Everyone, please write this down if you're not driving. If you're not driving, I heard this from El Nightingale, and I've since heard it from a lot of people. John Maxwell, everybody, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, all of them have said it, and I found it to work. It's worked tremendously in my life. They said, if you spend 1 hour a day on anything you are good at, especially that thing that is your calling, that is your passion, that is your talent or your gift, anything you're good at, that heavens has committed and supremely qualified you to do, 1 hour a day, in 1 year, you will become an expert in that thing because you would have spent a minimum of 365 to 366 hours on that thing. And that is equivalent to, I think, a semester or 2 semesters or 3 semesters in the university. Wait, what am I saying? Not a semester. I think that's equivalent to about 3 semesters. That's a whole year of study if you equate it together. Very, very important. So 1 hour per day, you would become an expert in that thing. Imagine spending 1 hour per day studying psychology or studying. There's no way you become a psychological expert in 1 year without even going to school. All right. In 3 years, you will become a national phenomenon. I don't care what country you live in. Even if you live in Nigeria. Dr. Sam, you don't understand. I live in Nigeria. Nobody can. It works anywhere all over. It works anywhere all over the world. All right. In 5 to 7 years, you will become a global phenomenon. Let me share why I believe it works. I heard it in 2016, December, after getting the clarity of my purpose, and I wrote it down. I made a determination that I would spend a minimum of 1 hour every day reading about purpose, reading my Bible about purpose, reading books about purpose, watching a message, listening to a podcast about purpose. Today, I'm a purpose expert. Nobody preaches purpose the way I preach it. It's not pride. Nobody. And I believe that's the reason why God committed the mandate and the vision to start a school on purpose. If you come to that school, you'll be dazed. The things you will hear about purpose, many of our students, they've never had purpose like that before. Their pastor has never preached it like that before. It takes hours of consistent studying the Bible, reading books. I've read over 50 books on purpose, and I'm still reading. And I will keep reading. So the point I'm trying to make is 1 hour a day. All you need is 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. If you spend 2 hours today, maybe you don't have to spend another 1 hour. You can play with Oga tomorrow. But just negotiate that your 1 hour a day. In other words, 7 hours a week of consistent growth in that thing. In 1 year, don't forget, you become an expert. In other words, people will start to pay attention. Who is that? Who is that new speaker? Who is that new coach? Who is that? In 3 years, you become a national phenomenon. Everyone in that country, they'll start calling you. They'll start calling me. Like to get again in New Zealand today, people are calling me. I speak almost every day. I'm speaking. Almost every day, I'm speaking somewhere. If I'm not speaking somewhere, I'm either having that in my inner circle with my own mentees, with my school at Spain. There's something going on. almost every single day. All right. And in 5 to 7 years, you become a national phenomenon. In 5 to 7 years, you become, a global phenomenon. In other words, outside of where you live, people will start calling you. In fact, you don't need 5 to 7 years. That's the story of my life now. To the glory of God. Most of you are probably in UK or whatever, all over the world. Look at where we are. To the glory of God. Okay. So that's if Tambra is not somebody I know now, I've just given her a bill and say, hey, Tambra, my speaking fee.
You guys are leveraging off my goodwill.
All right. So, but that's how it works. Praise God.
Wow, Dr. Sam. Dr. Sam, what a session. You know, everything just works out exactly the way it was meant to work out. This is the first time we've actually gone straight into the speaker. I normally do a little spiel at the beginning, but I believe today, I don't even want to say anything. You know, I don't want to add. I just feel like you've covered everything so robustly that we should just, you know, there's nothing more that we can add to that. For like in 1 minute, or please, Dr. Sam, don't use more than 1 minute. She says that I'm a night person, but when I sleep after 11 p.m., my day is stressful, not enough sleep. So I think he has answered that. You need a power nap in the afternoon. He has already answered that. All you need is a power nap in the afternoon.
You find a way. And when I say in the afternoon, some of you may be doing work, a kind of a work that will make you come back home, I don't know, maybe 8 p.m. And it may be hard to find that nap. Please be trusting God and prayerfully thinking about a change of jobs. Yeah. There are sometimes you have to make some decisions so that you can move your life upward. Some of us, it's our career that is eating away our future. I know it sounds like a paradox or like an oxymoron. How can my career be eating away my future? Isn't my career my future? Your career is not your future. All right, your career is not your future. That's another masterclass. Okay, so you have to be intentional about the kind of jobs you take because of the kind of person you are. Oh God, that's another masterclass. All right, your self-awareness is so key. So you don't just take any job. You don't just do anything. You are very intentional about where you're going, and you take jobs. You go into careers. You're intentional. So if you're that kind of person, if you're the kind of person that come home at like 6 p.m. and you can quickly fix dinner for the kids, and maybe while they're eating, you go for that 20 minutes power nap. All right, I promise you it will work for you. I promise you it will work. It will work a lot for you. A lot for you. That 20 minutes power nap. You just need to train your brain that you'd always have 20 minutes power nap after you come back from work. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at how it will change your life. It will change your life if you will do it every single day. Or even Saturdays and Sunday, I have power naps in the afternoon. That's how serious it is, because it's become a routine for me. And you cannot change your life until you change what you do every day. Trust me. So whether it's Saturday and Sunday, is the same thing.
So good. So good, Dr. Sam. This has been so amazing. I think one of the things that I want to just say is just to buttress almost everything that Dr. Sam has said. When there is a will, there is always a way, right? When you have desire that this is what you will do, I'm telling you, if the whole world conspires to make that thing work out for you. Look, example is case in point is today, I was traveling. You saw me earlier on the motorway. I was tethering from my phone. That's why I had two devices, tethering from my phone to my laptop so I could try and share my screen. I've never done that before, but when there is a will, it's that desire to be consistent. We have a session first Thursday of every month, and we do it. We focus on that and we do it regardless of what happens. You just put your mind and you say you will do it. And I'm here, my kids are in the background, they're making it, but it doesn't matter. This is what we say we will do, and we will do it no matter the circumstance. So anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for just giving us almost like the science and everything behind it. I want to release you now. Please put in the chat, just help me say thank you.
I just want to quickly help answer somebody. Somebody said, can you be a morning and night person? Yes, you can. But 3% of people in the world are that. So if you're one of those 3%, there's a whole a lot of answers to that I don't want to go into. It'd be a bit too much, but it's balancing the two that really works for you. Some of the things we've shared today, just balancing it. Yeah.
And also just to encourage you guys, a lot of you are probably listening to, oh my gosh, like I'm not consistent at all. I want to encourage you that you're already consistent, but probably you don't even know it. You are in the More Collective. We do our goals every Monday. We do our this, you attend the More Hangouts. All of that, you're building a pattern of consistency. You're telling yourself that you can be consistent at something. All you need to do is just transfer the same skills that you have honed here onto other things. And you already see, you see dramatic shifts in your life. Okay, Dr. Sam, I'll let you go and then I'll just round up with the ladies. But thank you so much for being here. Please wish him well. Say bye-bye. God bless you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a fantastic day. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tombra. God bless you. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, wow. Guys, let's unmute. Let's have a party. What did you guys think?
That was awesome.
I'm delivered.
I just love you guys. You guys are amazing.
It was amazing.